Today's drawing session is going to be a little bit different because I'm super excited because I have my sister here with me, and we're going to be chatting together. But also, this picture that I'm going to draw today is created by my sister, who is, I've shown some of the works that we've done together in the past, and she is a photographer. She does movement-based art photography. We've been talking for a while about trying to do a podcast together. And so today we're gonna have a go, and we want to let you listen in on the kind of conversations that we have, while we also try to explore this amazing photograph that Rakel has taken. Yeah, so here we are. Hello.
Hello. Nice to be here. It's really interesting. It's I think I'm just gonna try to forget that we're talking to other people than each other, and just try to talk to you,
which I do
sense. All the time.
Sense. Yeah.
So
yesterday we were out for a little walk together, and we talked about where to start with this thing, and it's been an interesting journey because we've been working together as collaborative partners, and we've gone through all sorts of different developments in our relationship, and we thought it could be quite interesting to talk about 3 things that we have experienced as a part of our collaborative journey. And it's the words symbiosis. What was the second one?
Codependency.
And unity, but Rakel doesn't like the word unity, so we're just going to try to redefine it. What do you think is better?
As it stands, I don't have a better word. There is something about the word unity that feels a little sterile to me.
Okay.
That's my problem with it. And it has a little bit of a...
companionship? Doesn't work.
Togetherness, maybe. Or something wholeness. I don't quite know yet. I just think unity. Do you understand what I mean, or do you get the vibes?
This is an interesting. No, I like the word unity.
Oh.
So
yeah. Well, let's keep talking about unity.
I don't have any triggers around that word, but maybe something like collaboration could go.
Collaboration is nice.
So we've got symbiosis, codependency, and collaboration.
Yeah. And I think it makes complete sense to talk about collaboration from a perspective of unity, or like in that way. Yeah. I think unity on its own, something about it that makes me feel like it gives me a little bit like sports brand vibes, you know, and this is obviously couldn't be further away from.
But let's get to the point.
Let's get to the point.
This half an hour session is quickly gonna be over.
Yeah.
So symbiosis.
So that's you and me.
Yeah.
Right. This is you and me before we were very conscious about anything. We're reaching for consciousness, and we found each other.
That's. I like that. I think we're still reaching for consciousness.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and so we found some kind of like a mirrored situation, I think, where we're able to give into areas in each other that so. There are elements you have that I need, and there are elements I have that you need. And so we have this kind of give and take, symbiotic situation going on, I feel like.
Yeah. And it started really early.
Yeah.
There was something about the two of us that clicked from day one, I think.
Yeah.
You would have been 0 and I would have been 3.
Yeah.
So... I think that we definitely that there was something that worked in our childhood right from the beginning, and we were always playing together.
Yeah.
But then when we got into school age, it started to become a lot about schoolwork. We would kind of, I think that is where we actually started working together.
Yeah.
With occasionally one of us would help the other one with the subject, and then we always got good marks when we were together, right?
I think it was like where that really worked was always when we had to write an essay in Danish.
Yes.
And so we loved those assignments where you had to like read a story and then talk about the story and analyze these people's motivations and just basically write like
interpret a story. That we love to do that.
Love that we could really get into the meat of things together. Yeah. And that was always when we did really good work, and it was always obviously, the night before, the whole night before the deadline, we would sit up.
It was last
drink
minute
coffee.
Coffee infused genius
in the night. Yeah. So probably lots of missing grammar and typos. Yeah. But really good material.
But inspired.
Yeah. Definitely inspired.
To be honest, yesterday we were talking about what to talk about, and I think I said unity, and then you came out with the two first words, the symbiosis, codependency, unity.
Yeah.
And then I thought that sounds like a good YouTube title. So to be honest, it's maybe a little bit not completely I don't think it's the correct term to use, but there is maybe some fragments of it where at times our relationship became a little bit unhelpful.
Unhealthy, yeah.
And I think there was a bit of a merging and an overlap. There was so much overlap with our creativity happening all the time that I felt like when we were trying to work together, that it became this kind of merging, which was, I got confused at times because I wasn't sure what is actually my own artistic voice and what do I just really, what is Rakel's, and where is the boundary between us, because I liked your style so much, but I felt that, and because it's quite similar with the charcoal thing, that I felt that I wasn't sure, because I felt deeply that the charcoal thing just came from within me, and that whatever you were doing came from within you, but because it looked so similar, it started to become confusing almost. And I don't know I don't think you can really use the word codependency here. I think maybe it's more of maybe it's a different word.
Yeah, I think maybe codependency is not what we're talking about in this way. I think probably definitely there are some codependent elements to our relationship, or has been, or in the past. But it's more, I think the symbiosis is more describing for it, and then there are just some areas where the symbiosis can take on some unhealthy versions of itself. But it's interesting right now what you're saying. It makes me think a little bit about how when we were kids and we were doing stuff together, we never worried about what's mine and what's yours. We were just like throwing everything into the pot and having just like a party with it. And nobody ever walked away and were like, oh, this was more hers than mine, or this was more mine than hers. It was just like, it was a thing. And it was fun.
You didn't care whose creative voice is being heard or expressed. It was just
it was just like fun.
Big mosh pit of everything.
So in a way, it's almost like this merging that we then have experienced now as grown-up ladies making art. it's almost like this adult element is ruining things.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to cough again.
But there is something about the journey of every artist, I think, where you're looking for something that's real within you. And for a while I worked for an artist. I worked as an assistant, and I was thinking, if I was this person, what would I do? And then I operated from that viewpoint, and it really worked. I really liked that space of imagining I was someone else and then working from that point, but it didn't help me find my own expression. So when I came out of working like that, I had learned a lot of things, but I hadn't figured out what it kind of a mark I wanted to make, or what was coming out of me. But I always had this. This magnetic pull towards the human figure.
Yeah.
And in my youth, I was doing a lot of life drawing, and I really, really liked it. It was also quite movement based, and we were doing.
The models were moving, or they make a gesture.
They would make a gesture, and we would have just 10 seconds to capture it. And so you didn't capture the figure; you just captured the movement. And I loved it. And then when you started doing the photography, that felt like it's kind of a similar vein. But and so I loved it. I loved what you were doing straight away. And at the time, I was then still kind of coming out of merging with someone else. So I was still kind of untangling myself, and I was doing these big archetype portraits.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel comes a little bit from having that experience as an artist assistant, in that I used a similar way of collaging ideas that I had learned from working
with him.
Yeah. But the truth of what I was really interested in was something that was closer to actually what you were doing at that time.
Yeah.
And so I felt that it was almost confusing to me that you were so close, we were so close together, and then you're doing this work that I love. And then I was doing something that was a little bit not within, coming from
you're still sort of merged with
someone else.
Yeah.
And then we start to work together at this point, and then we kind of end up merging.
Yeah.
And now I'm really getting really confused.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that actually makes so much sense, because then
I'm trying to untangle myself over here.
Yeah.
And get into myself, and my own expression is very close to your expression in a way, but it was quite underdeveloped, and yours were a bit ahead of me at that time, because I felt like you were really getting to the heart of something with your photography. So I felt that created an imbalance in our relationship, maybe coming more from my side than from yours. At that time, when we tried to get to work collaboratively, and it was difficult.
There was also like the physical aspect of, like when in the past that we worked together, and it's been amazing. You are sort of creating something in the moment, like it's you're writing, so it's words. The finished product is just there.
Yeah.
But when you're doing art, it's different. It's the process is kind of in many ways a lot slower, because you are working on a body of work, or you are working on evolving something that you are. It's not there yet, and you're making things, but you're not. It's not there yet. You're looking for something. You're trying to find the thing, and. Yeah. You're just searching, and then now it's not really like the fun kind of, it's not the same because you're painfully searching for something within yourself, you know, and then now when we're then doing that together, that sort of, that can really,
that's like, then really extra hard.
Because we're searching within ourselves and we're finding things in each other, and also, is that me or is it her? Or, you know, it's like but who cares? Actually, really, it doesn't really matter. It's because it, you know.
But I think I do care in that sense that occasionally when I put out something and you feel like, oh, there's something here, that there's something coming from somewhere, that is something right about this.
Yeah.
And I just think that feeling is so important to listen to.
Yes. Yeah.
And but then you gotta listen even harder when we are so close to each other as well. And the thing is, we often had the similar ideas as well.
Yeah.
So we had this little problem that we would actually have come up with like very similar things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Have we got any examples we can mention of that?
Well, I feel like almost everything we've ever done, apart from the beginning when I was doing photography, you were doing your archetypes.
Yes.
And we were sort of exploring completely
sculpture.
Different things. Yeah.
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 Because I was doing sculpture.
You were doing sculpture first. And in a way, I mean, looking back at it now, it's like, God, that was nice. We each just had our own thing to worry about. You know, you didn't have to think about what the other person doing. And sort of have to, because it can be really hard when you. In a way, I'm just like sick of the whole thing, like me, you know, I'm just defining who I am, like always, you know, like it's just like stop it already. And I think it's way more funner and fresher to just be like doing something together.
So that was the chat from me and Rakel today, and she's just left the building. And I'm just listening back, realizing that I have just deleted the last little bit by accident. But never mind. I think it's a good place to end this little podcast session on that we are now starting a new process of doing work again together. And as you can gather from this conversation, that doing work together is not that easy, because you actually kind of have to leave your ego at the door, and you kind of have to just throw everything into the pot, just like Rakel said we used to do as children, where if you're doing stuff together, you're actually playing. And so that's the thing that we're going to do again, restart a little bit. The bit that I kind of accidentally deleted was a little bit about that period of separation we had after initially working together, just on the basis of the fact that we were so interested in a lot of similar ideas and similar styles. We started exploring that, but then we both needed a little bit of time on our own to develop. I wanted to spend some time on my drawing style, because I felt that there was something that I had needed to explore with that. And Rakel, on the other hand, wanted to get more tactile with her work and get into working on collage. And so we've done that for a while, a little bit separately. And we're now coming back into this season of doing things together again. And just with knowing what we know now, we want to kind of enter into that playful atmosphere, just the way that we described as children, where you just throw everything in and you have a party. So yeah, that's where I will end this drawing session today. Thank you so much for listening in, and I hope you enjoyed meeting my sister. Super happy that she shared her amazing photography with us today, and to explore drawing in an even more abstracted and emotional way. And this is something I've been itching to do for a long time, getting a hold of some of her work and actually drawing it. So I feel exceedingly blessed to have been drawing these amazing pictures today, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Come back for more, because me and my sister have got more ideas of things we would like to do together, and we're thinking about letting you into the process of our collaboration a little bit more as well. So if you are up for seeing that journey unfold a little bit more, just give us a comment or a thumbs up, like and subscribe, whatever, because all of those things really help. And just thank you so much for spending time with us today. It was nice to have you. Take care and all the best. Bye.